Welcome to this special edition of Draft Utopia. Yes, we will have NFL playoff picks in an hour on our other part of the show, but I thought we'd kick off my 35th birthday with a special mock draft special for all the teams that missed the playoffs. Yeah, that goes for the AFC North. Yep, Ron's going to be deciding your fate now that his Steelers are in the wild card game, and I'll be deciding
Well,
the fate for some teams as well, but it'll be fun. I
yeah,
mean,
right.
I got this thing up to 50 players this morning. I was debating who to put at 51, and since I couldn't decide, I just figured if we're only picking for 18 teams, I think a pool of 50 players is enough for now. I can always go
Yeah, at
back and make
least.
revisions later. But
Yeah.
the
Hey,
Raiders are on the clock. What's up?
by the way, happy birthday to you, my man. Happy birthday to you, man, and many more. Hope you have a good one, man. You know what I mean?
I appreciate that, Ron.
You got it, buddy. You got it. So
Um,
the Raiders on the clock. Woo,
Yes,
doggies.
and for anyone wondering, I made it so that the, timer is adjacent to real life. It used to be 10 minutes, 600 seconds, but the draft's gonna be first round's only gonna be 8 minutes now. That's
Oh,
why the, timer's adjusted. I think the best player in the draft is Ruben Bain Jr., but I think the Raiders, they're probably gonna take a quarterback, and Mendoza has rocked the last 2 games he's played in, so Ron does have the first pick, and I'm guessing he's going to take Mendoza. I mean, this
oh
looks like a
yeah.
pretty open and shut case.
Yeah, yeah. I got to be honest with you, man. They have the Raiders need quarterback. Okay. The fact that they brought in Kenny Pickett this year, right, to kind of help things. I mean, I think he only played like one or two games, maybe, but they seriously need a quarterback. And you and I had a little tweet back and forth this week. And quite frankly, I don't. Here's going to be the other big thing, too. With the Raiders now looking for a coach, okay? So I think we're going to get a coach first, clearly, before we get a pick from them. But either way, you got to look at the quarterback for the Raiders, right?
Yeah,
So that's
I
why
agree. And
that's
it's not
yeah.
just the fact that Mendoza's QB1. He is my QB1 by a significant margin. I like Pavia a little bit more than Dante Moore, but I have Pavia at 33, Dante Moore at 34, and then I've got Carson Beck at 47 and Trinidad Chambliss, who probably has the best character of those four, but has the smallest body, 6 foot, 200 pounds. So that's why I would argue Mendoza's probably the only round one QB in this class. There's 4 round 2 guys, and basically they're all going to have to jump through hoops just to get into the back half of the first round, like Jackson Dart last year.
Yeah, and so you touched on it right there, Chris. That's a perfect point because this is not a very quarterback heavy draft.
Yeah.
Okay. And there's only a select few teams really that are looking for quarterbacks,
Right
right?
now, it feels like there's more teams in quarterback purgatory than there are teams that need quarterbacks.
Okay, see,
Basically,
there you
the
go.
Raiders, the Jets, and maybe the Steelers if Aaron Rodgers retires. But if the Steelers don't like this QB class, they're probably going to trade for Murray or Tua. I don't know. It's just a hypothesis. They could also get Mac Jones in free agency, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely some different names floating around there in Pittsburgh for sure. If Aaron Rodgers does decide to leave, if the Steelers were to say win this playoff game, that might change his mind. But I'm of a mindset that if a player comes into the season and says right at the beginning of the season that they're going to retire after this year, that they're pretty much already retired. So if things change, great. But I really like Mendoza here for the Raiders. Like you said, he's one of the best quarterbacks on the board in the first round that's worthy of a first round. And as a Raiders, you would want to be because I mean I see the Raider Nation is like clamoring for this guy. So I mean, okay, let's give it to him.
All right, Fernando Mendoza, you can see the visuals there. So the Raiders have selected Mendoza first overall. Um,
By the
this
way,
is
this
where
is slick, dude. This is really, really slick.
I appreciate that, man.
Yeah, man, this is really cool, dude.
we took some of the visuals and tweaked some stuff so that we have like a board set up for each of the positions, each of the
Nice.
players. I
Nice.
appreciate the compliments, and the colors
Yeah,
go
man. It
well
looks
with the
great.
style, the scheme,
Yeah,
everything.
I like your logo up on there too, man. It looks great, dude.
I appreciate that. The Jets are up. In most situations, they would take a quarterback. I'm not going to take a quarterback because A, I feel like the Jets still have to improve their pass rush. They drafted Jermaine Johnson the second in the first round out of Florida State. A lot of people thought he was a top 10 pick in the year he was drafted because he had a great Senior Bowl, but 5 sacks as a rookie, 7 sacks in year two, three. He didn't have any sacks last year because he suffered a season-ending injury. Only 3 sacks in year four. And then the other edge rusher they got in the first round, Will McDonald, Ron, he missed his entire rookie season. Then he
Yep.
comes in and has 12 and a half sacks in 2024 and dominates. And then this year, 8.5 sacks, season-ending injury. I like McDonald enough to give him a fifth-year tender, but with his injury history, he's going to have to stay healthy in 2026 to earn an extension. And frankly, Ruben Bain Jr. is the best player on the board. I can't think of a reason why the Jets should pass on him if the Raiders take Mendoza at 1. If the Raiders take Bain, you take Mendoza at 2. And if the Raiders take Mendoza, you take Bain at 2 and either get your QB at 16, or if there's someone on the board you like more than these QBs, you can wait for your guy, but you risk missing out on someone. And if you think next year's QB class with Arch Manning, with Julian Sayin, with some of the guys is better,
Yeah.
you can also wait for that class as well because you got 3 first-round picks next year. So I'm going to go Ruben Bain Jr. As dumb as that sounds, I think that's the right player for the Jets at 2.
See, I was thinking they would also be looking for a quarterback as well. And the reason why I'm saying that is because let's face it, the Justin Strawberry Fields experiment was not very good experiment for them.
They could always get a free agent, but they tried that with Fields, it backfired. They tried that with Rodgers, it backfired. So
That's what I mean. So that's why I was potentially looking at maybe a quarterback for them too, for the Jets. But hey, if you're going to look at the best player on the board, and you can't go wrong with picking a defensive end, an edge rusher, you can't go wrong with that, right? And if he's the best on the board, you would be stupid not to take this player.
I have this player over Mendoza as the number 1 player on my board, but it's close. We had Mendoza at 1 at the beginning of the week. Now we have Bain
Yeah.
at 1, but it's very close between those two. Bain led the country with 46 QB pressures this year for the Miami Hurricanes, and they're playing Indiana next week's national title. So you can't really hate on the pick. You could say
Right.
it's a reach. You could say they should take a quarterback, but I think that's the only argument you can make. It's either a quarterback or Bain at 2, depending on your
Yeah.
preference.
Okay. All right. Well, there you go then. So we got a quarterback off the board, then we got a defensive end off the board. And look,
The Cardinals have number
teams
3. This is tough because you could argue the Cardinals need a QB, but at the same time, you might want to go best player. What are you thinking, Ron?
um if Kyler Murray stays, and that's going to be a big if. Either way, I think they need to go offensive lineman. I really do. I'm looking at my list here. I got Francis. I'm going to probably say his name wrong.
Maui Goa, the Hurricanes guy, another Hurricane. They
Yeah,
got back-to-back Hurricanes.
yeah.
The Miami right tackle, perfect replacement to Jonah Williams. I like this pick. It's a bold pick. I've got a 95 for potential on both Smith and Maui Goa, and I think Maui Goa is a better fit for the Cardinals as a bookend to Paris Johnson. So I really like the fit here at 3, if that's the direction you want to go.
Yeah, I do, because I think they might keep him. And and Arizona's looking for a coach too, by the way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So the top teams, most of the top teams are all looking for coaches too. So I it's all going to depend. If the new coach comes in and wants to keep Kyler Murray and he's able to establish some kind of health with Kyler Murray, either way you slice it, whether they keep him or not, I still think you need to take an offensive lineman at this point, because you need to solidify that offensive line so that you can have players like Kyler Murray doing the things that they need to do and giving them the time that they need to do the things that they need to do. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm going
Yeah.
offensive line on this one.
It's funny. Last week I suggested if the Cardinals stayed at 5 and they missed out on edge rushers, they take Jeremiah Love. And then Mel Kiper copies me and he puts Jeremiah Love in his mock at 3. But now knowing what the Cardinals have to work with, I would say either lineman or an edge rusher is the pick at 3 if
And
you're the
and
Cardinals.
I looked at Mel Kiper's list, right? And I looked at a couple other different lists and I tried to throw in my 2 cents and I kind of put together my list. So my
Yeah.
list kind of resembles some other lists, but look, this is not my thing as far as I'm not an expert on NFL draft like Chris is, right? But I have enough knowledge about all the teams and what their needs are. And I feel very honored that you asked me to come on here and do this, man. And I'm excited to
I'm
do
not
this.
an
So that's
expert. I'm just a novice who got Mel Kiper to copy my pick at 3.
yeah, but you've been doing this, man, for a while. This is your thing, man. You're all about the draft. You're all about getting these guys, and I love the draft simulator. So we're on to what, the Tennessee Titans now.
Yes, I get to
All
pick for
right.
the Titans at 4.
Titans on the clock, buddy.
And I think I'm probably going to go with another edge rusher. They don't have anyone that can get pressure on the quarterback. Look, I think you should get a left tackle for Cam Ward, but the reality is you spent a first round pick on JC Latham 2 years ago and you
Yeah.
paid Dan Moore Jr. 20 million a year for 5 years. So even if Dan Moore Jr. ends up being a bust, the earliest I think you can get out of that contract is maybe 2028 or 2029. So you're stuck with that contract whether you like it or not, Ron. And
Yeah.
I don't know, Dan Moore Jr., I wasn't high on him coming out of Texas A&M, but he did a solid job with the Steelers. And solid
Uh,
is in barely passable. Not I don't think he was I
yeah,
wasn't high on him personally, but the
I
Steelers
would
were
say
higher on him.
barely passable. I would say barely passable with his time in Pittsburgh. I mean,
Yeah.
so okay, yeah, I like. So who did you pick then for
I'm
Tennessee?
gonna take Bailey. I probably should take a tackle, but with how much money they're paying
Oh, okay.
Dan Moore Jr., I just don't think that's a realistic projection. And David Bailey, you got to get pressure on the quarterback right now. You had Draymond Jones, you have Jihad Ward, who's on IR, and you have Oluwafemi Oladejo, who was a middle linebacker at UCLA that converted to edge rusher. You took him in the second round, and he hasn't had a lot of success in the NFL. Getting a proven sack artist, David Bailey leads the country with 22 and a half sacks, can play anywhere at edge rusher, can play in a 43 defense, 34 defense, probably fits the Titans 34 defense the way Ruben Bain fits the
Yeah,
Jets 43 scheme. So I'm going to go David Bailey here and give the Titans the sack artist they desperately need.
there you go. There you go. I mean, that's going to help them. I actually did have an edge rusher for him or for that spot, just a different name.
Yeah.
But I did have an edge rusher for that spot for Tennessee.
Yeah.
So, and Tennessee's another one. They're looking for a coach too,
Yeah, exactly.
right? And so is the next team, right? The next team that's on the clock is the New York Giants.
Yep. The Giants are on the clock. Just trying to scroll up. Is there a certain position you want?
I'm I don't really. The Giants, man, they have so much need.
The Giants feel like a wild card in a sense, Ron, because I feel like Caleb Downs would upgrade their pass defense. They do need a wide receiver too next to Malik Neighbors. They also need a middle linebacker.
That's
If
where I'm going.
Eleanor leaves, they could get a right tackle.
Yep.
I feel like you're going to go Arvell Reese out of Ohio State here, but I could be wrong.
You are, because that's who I had for Tennessee for their pick, right? But I went wide receiver for the Giants and Carnell Tate
Okay.
from Ohio State.
This is the thing. I think Tyson and Lemon have higher ceilings than Tate, but Tate is the youngest receiver. He's the best route runner. He's got the best work ethic. And yeah, he's a Capricorn like
Well,
myself, McDavid,
there you
Lamar
go.
Jackson, LeBron James, workaholic, student of the game. So
I
Carnell Tate is going to be the pick here at 5. I'm just confirming before I
Yep. Yep. And the reason
lock
why I'm
that
going
pick
with
in.
him, and the reason why I'm going with him over Malik is because Malik has had an ACL that he's recovering from. And I'm also a little bit higher on Carnell Tate playing for Ohio State. I like his size a little better too. 6'3".
I think he's got the best floor in addition to having the route tree, the best work ethic, being the
Right.
youngest receiver in the draft. I think
Yeah.
he's got the best floor, meaning he might only need 2 years of development to reach his ceiling. There's receivers with higher ceilings, but they're barely higher and they're going to require maybe 3 to 4 years versus Tate's 2 years.
And didn't he play with Marvin Harrison Jr. at Ohio
Yeah,
State last
he
year?
was a freshman when Marvin
Right.
Harrison Jr. was there, and then
Right.
Jeremiah Smith and Tate have rocked Ohio State the last 2 years.
Right. So that's why I went with Tate for the Giants, because that's going to really help them no matter who they have a quarterback. You got to have weapons.
Well said. So Carnell Tate is a Giant, and Cleveland Browns are on the clock. You just managed to, I'm guessing I did tell my co-host okay, so William's going to be here in a few minutes. He just said
Okay.
he needs to get ready, and my co-host Joey is a huge Browns fan, so I'm going to let him make a pick here. I'm going to text him, and
There you go.
top 5 was Mendoza, Rubenbane Jr. Third pick was Francis Mao Goa, Miami right tackle. His name's hard to pronounce. I'm not going to try to spell it.
Yeah, right.
Autocorrect is just going to ruin everything. And then David Bailey.
I got a question for you here about Cleveland, right? And this is kind of what's going to throw me here on this too. Not only are they looking for a coach, because they did fire Kevin Stefanski, and look, that writing was on the wall, I think.
I agree.
They've got Shador Sanders and they got Dylan Gabriel as quarterbacks. They got rid of and they also still have Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
They got rid of Kenny Pickett and all the other folks that they had there. They brought in Flacco and they got rid of him too. And
They cut Tyler Huntley as well, and he was the
yeah,
backup for the Ravens. But yeah,
right. So I would think that they would probably not go quarterback.
I feel like they're going to try to build around Shador, and if it backfires, they'll get a QB in next year's class.
Well, I don't know if they're gonna. I don't know. I honestly, I
Maybe
think they're gonna.
2028 if Shador takes a leap this year, and if Shador does take a leap, they won't take a QB at all. But if
Well,
he doesn't, then they're going to look at either 27 or 28. I
I
mean,
honestly think that Gabriel is a better
okay,
quarterback, and if and when the next season starts and there's a quarterback, fight for the job there in Cleveland, I don't know. That might be a Dylan Gabriel job instead of a Shador Sanders. He might. I just think he's a better quarterback, but hey, what do I know? I'm not out there on
yeah,
the field anymore. You know what I mean?
we'll
So
see. Joey thought Shador was a star when the Browns drafted him. They're on the clock here at 6. Who should I give the Browns, Joey? Because it's like I really don't know. I feel like Caleb Downs would be the pick in this scenario with Tate off the board, but
could you give me the lineup one more time?
okay, the first
rundown?
pick. All right, the rundown. The first pick in the draft was Mendoza, which is no surprise. I took Rubenbane at 2. Ron decided to take Maui Goa, the Miami Hurricanes right tackle, 3rd overall in a surprise pick. I took David Bailey, and then Ron took Carnell Tate, your top option for the Browns with the Giants pick at 5. So
Low 2, Utah, left tackle.
Spencer, was that Latu or
Latu, low towel. I'm not sure
Spencer
about
Fano? Is that it? Fano, the Utah left tackle. Okay.
Yeah. The one that was projected top 10 by some, top 15 by others.
All right.
You know,
Wow.
just I don't show where he's projected, but the tape shows, you know, the balance, the footwork, the hand movement, everything you need to be an elite left tackle in the NFL.
Man, I like that pick. I like that pick. And
That's a
that's
great
exactly how you describe a left tackle. Quick feet, good hands. You know what I mean? Smart, able to play up well. You know what I mean? I like his movement as well too. So yeah, man, that's a great pick.
Yeah, and if I have to watch frickin' Robinson nearly sack Shadur Sanders one more time, I'm still trying to figure out how the hell that happened. It's like, how do you get turned around where you're facing your quarterback, running into him to where
Yeah.
he looks startled? It's like, the hell are you doing? It's like, what universe is that even? If I had to watch that again, I'm like, just shoot. Well, he's too fat to shoot into the sun. Shoot him into the 5 feet area of Lake Erie. I mean, I don't think there's a catapult that could support his weight to do anything more. But oh hell no!
Are we taking bets on whether he's going to land into the Allegheny River, the Ohio River, the Monongahela River at this point?
Yeah, it's like we might need to get one of those big things that the military uses to haul the food supplies over to South Africa. You know, one of those big haulers just to be able to get his ass over the river itself.
One of those big Chinook helicopters, man.
Yep.
That'd work. Yeah, that'd work.
That'll work.
Commanders still have 6 minutes to pick. William said he's on his way, so I'm kind of waiting for him because he hasn't made a pick yet. But if he doesn't show up on time, I will either pick Caleb Downs or Jeremiah Love for the Commanders at 7. I know Downs is the best player on the board, and logic says I probably should pick him to be the Commanders' safety. But if you think the Commanders need a running game or you want to make a case for Jeremiah Love over Downs, this is the time to pitch me that case. But I will only do that if William does not show up and it gets to the point because, you know, we're only going to do the first 18 picks of this, and then we're going to pivot into the NFL playoffs on the other stream. I'll send Joey a link to that in a little bit. But yeah.
See, now for my pick for this, I had a guy that you already took.
Right? Was that one of the edge rushers that I took?
Yeah, you took David Bailey. Right, that's who I had for the Commanders at 7.
Yeah, that's a good pick. Von Miller's a UFA, so that's a great replacement for Von
Miller. And they only have
guys, I'll be right back. I gotta do something real quick.
They only have Armstrong and Gene Baptiste, or how you say that name. They only have those 2 guys. So I would honestly, that's who I would have put there for them. So okay. Good deal.
All right. Yeah. So if William does not show up, I will just take well, technically I did say Ron could pick for the even number teams.
Well, no, you go ahead.
Odd number teams, but I didn't make a pick because I let Joey make a selection.
Yeah, that's cool. Go for it, dude. Go for it.
I'm going to take Caleb Downs here simply because the Commanders, they need another lock. They need another player in the secondary. Their pass defense was in the bottom 4 this year, which is unacceptable. And you have a quarterback as young as Jaden Daniels on a rookie deal. Mm-hmm. I know Lattimore tore his ACL. That did play a role in their pass defense declining as much as it did, but you can't put Jaden Daniels in that position. So it's either Downs or Love for me, and Downs is the best player on the board. I'm going to go that route.
Okay.
I will give William 1 minute to show up. If he does not, I'm just going to lock this pick in because it's at 216 seconds. That's less than 4 minutes.
Okay.
Oh, I accidentally picked Caleb Downs, so I guess that's the pick. All right.
That's the pick. All right. Well, I'll do the Saints on the board next. Yeah.
That sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah, you're not going running back. They got Kamara, even though he's getting older. They need another receiver.
but that's actually who I have on the board for them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Very well.
I have Jeremiah Love on the board because of Alvin Kamara turning 31 before the season starts. He did decline slightly this year. And look, you can never go wrong with having multi-talented running backs that can not only block but can also catch the ball out of the backfield, can be that H-back, can be that flanker spot. You understand what I'm saying? I think
Yeah,
Jordan
and the
Love is
Saints
going to
were
give him
also
that.
dead last in the NFL in big play runs, and drafting Jeremiah Love will change that with the players they have on the offensive line.
Exactly. Exactly. So that's why I went with him on that. I like his running style. He's got a good he's got good vision. I think he's really going to help them out, and it's never going to be a bad thing when you have two very very capable running backs that you can put out there on the field, or that you can mix and match, or feature one for a while, feature another one for a while. You know what I'm saying?
Sounds good. All right, Jeremiah Love is the pick. The Chiefs are on the clock, and I don't.
Who would
They
have
have
thought
they
they would be in the top 10
man.
in the draft? Come on.
Jacob Rodriguez, as much as I like him, the Chiefs have Drew Tranquil at weak side linebacker, so I don't think they would pick him, which means the Chiefs get a weapon for Patrick Mahomes. And with Rashee Rice's legal problems, I think Jordan Tyson is probably the best player you can get here. I mean, you could also argue Makai Lemon, the USC receiver who won the Bolitnikoff, would also be in play here. But with Rashee Rice's legal problems, the Chiefs can say, well, if Rashee Rice doesn't take a team-friendly deal, we'll just let him walk. We
Yeah.
don't have to give Worthy a fifth-year tender unless he proves himself. And with Marquez Brown on set to be a UFA, you can just get another receiver to replace him. You get Mahomes another weapon. You could also go defense. I had Peter Woods, the Clemson defensive tackle, at 9 in my simulator because I think that's who the Chiefs are going to get at 9. But I didn't anticipate my the top two receivers on my board slipping to Kansas City. So,
Well, I
you know,
got to be honest with you. That's the way I went. I went defense for Kansas City.
yeah, I just think Peter Woods is a better fit. The Chiefs have got to get younger on defense. Chris Jones is 31, and they got to get younger on defense because if they don't, they're going to be dependent on Mahomes and the offense to win them games. And the offense isn't putting up the production and firepower
No.
they first put
No.
up when Mahomes first got
No.
there. It's not.
No.
So,
No. And he doesn't have quite the weapons anymore that he used to.
yeah,
Do you know
Tyreek
what I mean?
Hill,
So,
prime
right.
Travis Kelce. Kelsey's still there, but he's not the same guy.
And Juju Smith-Schuster was another one that was a really good one for them too. So I mean, hey, they either way, I would have gone either way, wide receiver or defense, and I went defense for them.
I have Peter Woods, the top defensive tackle of it. That's who I've sort of envisioned the Chiefs drafting. Chris Jones is 31. They don't really have a good defensive tackle next to him. They have Derek Nottie, who's decent. He's been decent for many years, but you're at the point where you got to get another defensive tackle to take for Jones to mentor so he can be the face of the team whenever Jones decides to retire. And this is the best time to do that. You're not going to have an opportunity to do that again. So I'm going to go Peter Woods.
Okay. Wow. There you go. All right. So
And the Bengals are on the clock. I mean, the top two defensive players on my board are linebackers, but the Bengals drafted Barrett Carter in the 4th round, Demetrius Knight in the 2nd round. And Knight's an outside linebacker. They have him playing the mic. I honestly don't know who to give the Bengals here because I don't think they need a receiver with Chase and Higgins getting paid. Drafting another receiver does not make any sense here.
Well, you took my guy.
Woods was the guy you wanted. Yeah.
I had Caleb Downs here at safety from Ohio State for the Bengals.
Yeah.
But I would still go either safety or cornerback because I think that's one of their biggest needs. Do you know what I mean? So who would be
I will load the cornerback
safety.
board and I will load the safety board. And
Yeah. Let me see the
Mansour Delane had 10 deflections for LSU. He's 15th on my board. And Dylan Thieneman, the Oregon strong safety, very good zone coverage safety, had 5 interceptions. He's 16th on my board. So those are your secondary options. Jermod McCoy had the best tape of any corner in the country last year, but he's coming off a torn ACL.
Right. That's why I look, it takes a little bit of look, I don't have a problem with a guy that comes off an ACL, but it takes at least 8 or 9 months for you to get back to where you were. Let me go with let me see the safety again.
Thieneman, he's Oregon safety.
Yeah, let me go with Thieneman on that for them, because I like the size. I like his capabilities. They're gonna need a safety.
83
Cincinnati
tackles in all 3 seasons at Oregon. Very consistent tape. Best strong safety in the country.
You got to take the best. If you're going to go for a position, you got to take the best available at that position. So that's what I'm doing. I'm taking Dylan here for the Bengals at number 10.
Smart. And
they are not looking for a new coach, by the way.
Yes, the Dolphins. No, Jacob Rodriguez is a 43 linebacker. He's not really a scheme fit for Miami. I could go with a quarterback for Miami, but I'm going to go with a wide receiver because Tyreek Hill is going to get cut to save cap space. I could also go with a tight end. I did mock Kenyon Sadiq. Should I go wide receiver or tight end? I'm going to let Ron decide the position. I'm going to pick the player, but I'm going to let Ron decide the position to even things out.
Ooh, okay.
Waller's the current starting tight end, but you're losing Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, I would go wide receiver.
All right. So we'll take Tyson here.
Even though I went offensive line for them.
Interesting.
Right. I picked Spencer Fano
but
from Utah.
Joey took him at 6.
Yeah, I know.
So we're going to go Tyson. So, yeah.
They are also looking for a new coach. Miami Dolphins are now looking for a new coach as well, too.
The Cowboys are on the clock at 12.
I got to be honest with you. One last little comment here about Miami. I think they should probably be looking for a quarterback.
Well, if they trade Tua and they don't have a lot of confidence in Quinn Ewers, they probably do need to draft a quarterback. But this is not a great quarterback draft. And if you get the right receiver in the first round and you get a quarterback you like in day 2, it can work. But the odds of it working aren't great, but it can work. Look at the Bengals when they took Andy Dalton after getting AJ Green.
Right. Okay. All right, so we got Dallas Cowboys up next.
Yep.
All right. As far as I'm concerned, Dallas they need defense. And I think I went linebacker. I went Sonny Styles from Ohio State here for them. I like this guy. I like the size. I like the he's shown out, man, at Ohio State. Okay. I mean, this guy balled out.
There might be other linebackers with more upside than the Ohio State guys, but if just in terms of size, physicality, 6'4", 240, ideal size that NFL teams covet, Ohio State's linebackers have that in spades this year, both Reese and Styles.
Yep. That's where I'm going. Dallas needs the help bad. And
all right.
Especially in the linebacker area because they just opened up and where defenses or offenses were able to go through the middle in Dallas. So that's why I think they need that help. And especially after the loss of Micah Parsons, I mean, you got to put somebody back there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And for anyone wondering what the orange is, that means that It's the last, see the fullbacks. There's no fullbacks in my rankings. It's completely orange. Orange means there's no players available at that position. There's no
Oh my
kickers
gosh.
available, no punters. It's code orange. It's not code red. It's code orange because there's no players at that position available. All right. Probably should be a code red, but
Yeah.
the Rams. Yeah, the Rams are interesting. I feel like they need a right tackle. They also need a corner. I am probably going to give them, the Carter Smith's more of a left tackle than a right tackle, and the Rams need a right tackle more than a left tackle. And I feel like the guys on the board are all reaches at this point. So I'm going to go Mansour Delane, 10 deflections for LSU. He gives the Rams a true lockdown number 1 corner. Could also go quarterback, but they've got their late first round pick to get a QB as well. And
Yep.
so I'm going to go Delane.
This is a good pick, man. I think this is a good pick. I like this pick here. This is a good pick.
Yeah.
For them. I went wide receiver for them.
Yeah, they could go receiver too with Devontae Adams getting older. That's also an option. Puka Nacua is in the final year of his rookie deal.
Right. I went with a wide receiver for them for this pick. But hey, man, either way though, they still need the help. You know what I mean? And see, here's the thing about the NFL draft as compared to, say, the NHL draft, right? So in the NFL draft, these players have especially first round players, have an opportunity to play right away, to be an impact right away. Okay. But when you get into like the NHL, those guys that are picked in the first round, they very rarely make it to play. I mean, it's very rarely do you get 1 or 2 players like a Matthew Schaefer or a Connor Bedard, or you got to be that kind of a generational player to
you got to be a top pick usually. There's outliers like Benjamin Kendall, the Penguins pick at 11. He ended up cracking the NHL right away and still on the roster. That's an outlier.
Yeah. But they're very few and far between. It's not so with the NFL. NFL, you can draft a guy like we're on the clock here now for the Ravens, and I get to pick for the Ravens. Who's the worst player on them? No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, I've got wait, is
Peter
that William
Woods.
or is that Joey who's back here? Hey Joey, the Ravens are on the clock.
Yeah, give it to Joey.
Yeah, I was gonna give it to William if he showed up, but since Joey's here, I'll let you make another pick for the Ravens. This is interesting. What position? If you don't want Rodriguez or you don't want another position, I can click on a certain position to make things easier for you.
This is interesting because the Ravens don't have a coach, so we don't know what direction they're going.
Exactly.
But I heard this morning, at the same token, that they're leaning heavily toward Brian Flores. So if we go on that assumption,
I have an edge rusher at this spot. I have the TJ Parker, the Clemson edge rusher. I'm looking at the best edge. Parker is the best edge rusher on the board, unless you think Rodriguez fits it. I think Rodriguez is more of a 43 weak side linebacker. Great tackler, but not a double-digit sack guy. And, Flores is a 34 guy more so than a 43 guy.
So if that's the case, I would go with Parker as well, because if Flores is truly the guy, then he's going to want to rebuild that defense in his image. Yeah. So you're going to have to take the best available at that point. And
Parker's already accepted an invite to the Senior Bowl. He was a preseason top 3 pick, projected to go in the top 3 in the preseason. Still had 10 sacks, but had somewhat of a down year compared to his 10 sack season in 2024. He still had a respectable season, but he's going to the Senior Bowl. He's going to play in the game, and as long as he does well at the Senior Bowl practices and in the game, he should be a top 15 pick. And I think the Ravens is an ideal spot for him.
There you go. And that's the other thing. You made a great point that they're also looking for a coach too. And that was the surprise. I necessarily didn't see that coach being fired by the Ravens. You know what I mean? Because John Harbaugh is the second longest tenured coach in the NFL. And anyway, I was kind of hoping that they could. Anyway, but okay. So we got
all right.
Tampa Bay on the board next.
Yeah, they need an edge rusher too, but they also could use help in the secondary. They could use help. Their tight end's a free agent. Kate Otton's a UFA. So if you'd like Kenyon Sadiq out of Oregon or Eli Stovers out of Vanderbilt, you could take a tight end here, get Baker another weapon. They mainly need an edge rusher. They do lose who am I thinking of? They do lose Jamel Dean, but they have Zion McCollum, and they've got the 2 rookie corners they drafted. They've also got Tyke Smith on a rookie deal at strong safety. They re-signed Godecki at right tackle. So I'm just running through the scenarios briefly here, and I would say right now they've got a lot of stability at a lot of a lot of key positions. But
yeah, they do.
do you trust Todd Bowles? I don't, but he's here, and they're laying off a lot of the coaches, which I don't understand, the positional
that doesn't
coaches
make
and the
sense.
coordinators.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So is this me making this pick, or is this you, Chris?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I made the Lane pick, and then Joey picked for the Ravens, so I think it's only fair that you pick here.
Okay. I'm looking at edge for them.
Yeah, you could get Rodriguez, but he's more of a 43 guy, like we said. Derek Moore had 10 sacks at Michigan. Yeah, I've got Falk at 32. There's a lot of people that say he's super raw, but at the same token, he was a preseason top 10 pick. So I can respect the thought process. He's also the youngest edge rusher in the entire draft. So even though he's a project, because he's the youngest edge rusher, he's 20. He turned 20 in September. He's not going to be 21 until September. There's a lot of room. Like, if there's a lot of time for him to develop, which is a big advantage he's going to have compared to all the other edges in this class.
And that's why I picked him there, because he's got like one of the biggest wingspans. He's also one of the biggest guys out there as far as height wise. And with him being that young and being that coachable, you know what I mean? I think he did a great job at Auburn, but and I think he's going to be one of those, when you draft a guy like that who's a project in the first round, he's already got the tools necessary to be that great. You just need to coach him up a little bit to get him pointed in the right direction. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's who I got there for the Buccaneers is Falk.
All right, number 16. This is the Jets.
Again.
I have a chance to atone for not picking a quarterback earlier. I honestly, I'm tempted to go Rodriguez, but I know if I do that, I'm gonna upset their fan base. I mean, I think Rodriguez is a great fit for the Jets, but at the same token, 2 defensive guys, I don't think that's realistic. And historically speaking, the Jets have not gone with a weak side linebacker or a Mike linebacker early in the draft. I mean, they've got Quincy Williams. Is Quincy Williams a UFA? I'm going to double check really quickly.
Okay.
I'm going to double check to see if Quincy Williams, the weak side linebacker, is a UFA. I think he's under contract for 1 more year, but if he's a UFA, I'm going to take Williams. If he's not, we'll go quarterback, because I do think even though I've got 4 second-round grades in the QBs, I do think a second QB is going to get pushed into the first round.
Well, especially with a team like the Jets, who have multiple picks in the first round. Do you know what I mean? So that actually makes sense. And especially if you're going to take a defensive guy for your first overall pick.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Quincy Williams is a UFA after this year. So let's see. This market value is $9.3 million. He's set to turn 30. If I draft Rodriguez, I don't have to pay him that much. He's only 23, and I get him at a much better value. So taking that into consideration, I am going to go Rodriguez.
That's a good pick, though. I think that's a good fit for them.
Yep. So they get Ruben Bain and they get Rodriguez, and they get 2 faces for their defense.
There you go.
Oh, crap. I accidentally clicked the button. I accidentally clicked the Mackay Lemon button for the Lions, but the Lions get the Blitnikov winner. I'm sure Dan Campbell would love that. It wasn't my intention. I just accidentally clicked on the button and it skipped the pick. That happens sometimes. That's the only drawback.
Oh, for the Lions, who did you give him?
I accidentally clicked on a button. They ended up getting Mekhi Lemon, the Biletnikoff Award winner.
Oh
So,
yeah, man.
So now
Yeah.
they've got Amon-Ra St. Brown, they've got Jamison Williams, and they've got Mekhi Lemon in the slot on a rookie deal.
I had them picking offense, but just not wide receiver. I had them picking a tackle.
Yeah, I think they are going to pick a tackle, Ron, because Taylor Decker's contemplating retirement. They might move Penei Sewell to left tackle, or they might
That's
draft
right.
a left
Yeah.
tackle and keep Sewell at right tackle since he's more effective there. So I agree.
Yeah.
The Lions
Yeah.
are going to probably get a tackle in real life, but the simulator accidentally gave the Lions a
Wide receiver.
yeah.
That's okay though. It doesn't affect the last pick either.
I'm
It
not
doesn't
going to be
affect
upset about it because Mekhi Lemon
Right.
is kind of a Swiss Army knife. I mean,
Yeah.
you think Jared Goff wouldn't say, thank you, give me another?
Oh yeah, no, please don't draft me another weapon. Please don't do that.
Yeah,
No.
but if you do
Absolutely
that,
not.
if you do that, then you probably have to get another tight end because you're gonna if you're paying a first round receiver and 2 receivers you extended, do you have money to pay Laporta as well? Or are you over because you're already extended Aiden Hutchinson? I guess that's another discussion for another day.
And it all depends on what their cap space is. I think Detroit still has quite a bit of money.
Detroit could always use the Andrew Berry method and kick it 6 years down the road and then let future me take care of it.
That's true too. The Vikings are on the clock at 18. You want to wrap this up, Joey? I mean, the Vikings, you got Anthony Hill Jr., you got Sadiq. Yeah, you could go QB if you don't trust McCarthy. I don't think the Vikings will go QB in real life. They went 9-8.
McCarthy needs to learn to stay on the field first and foremost.
Hello.
That's the first thing you got to worry about. But second thing, I'm thinking right now, the Vikings need a lot of things.
That's true.
That's just a sad fact. They need a lot of things.
I believe Sonny Styles and Rodriguez are both off the board, but Hill is available. I've got 3 middle linebackers with a first round grade. Arvell Reese is available, and the Georgia linebacker CJ Allen is also available. I've got a late first on him. They've got
what's the overall that's available?
Best overall. I've got Hill graded slightly higher. Kenyon Sadiq's available if you want a number 2 tight end to Hawkinson. I don't know what Hawkinson's contract is like. I'm going to look that up right now because I would imagine if Hawkinson's a UFA, I think Hawkinson's under contract till 2028. Okay.
Yeah, keep going down. I think that's fine.
Carter Smith's the left tackle for Indiana. They paid Darisaw and they've got Brian O'Neill. Arvell Reese is available. I ended up giving Christian Miller to the Vikings initially. Their nose tackle, Javon Hargrave, is a UFA. Miller is my best nose tackle on the board. So,
yeah, go down a little bit more. Good.
I like Caden Green out of Missouri, but he doesn't have a lot of reps. Logan Jones is there if you want a center. Parker, Tiernan, CJ Allen, Jermod McCoy is there if you want a lockdown corner. Avion Terrell is also available. Derek Moore. They've got a lot of good edge rushers. I know you told me about
Emmanuel Warren. I would take Warren here.
I've got the Broncos taking Warren as 31, as crazy as that sounds. And Ron gave the Bengals the second safety in the top 10. So if 2 safeties go in the top 10, let's say the Commanders get Caleb Downs and the Bengals take Dylan Thieneman, that drives the value of McNeil Warren up because not only is he Joey's sleeper, he's the perfect successor to Harrison Smith at free safety. And it drives the value of the safety class up, wouldn't it? If both Downs and Thieneman went in the top 10, it would drive the value. And then safety 3, McNeil Warren, goes as high as pick 18, Joey.
Yeah, I would go Warren there. I think Warren's got a ton of upside. I think he could play corner, safety. I think he could play inside or outside. And I think he would potentially cover 1, if not 2, of the Vikings' areas of failure last year. So
put both of them in there, put him in there, see where he fits best, and if the situation accounts for it, you can move him around. And I think that may be the best situation for the Vikings to be in.
The Panthers, they will only get this pick if they lose to the Rams today. Will one of these quarterbacks replace Bryce Young? Find out next time on Unsolved Mysteries. Remember the Unsolved Mysteries?
Well,
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes.
Well, I mean, this might be in the child protective area because, we're not going to be able to see him behind that offensive line. So we might have to go to Child Protective Services on this Unsolved Mysteries episode.
Oh my gosh.
Joey, the most offensive thing I heard about Bryce Young, someone tweeted that he's a literal Fisher-Price toy.
Oh my gosh.
Tweeted that. William laughed at the joke. Emmanuel Watson
I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid.
Yes. Oh my gosh. More games, more toys. Oh boy. I want to go back to Minnesota real quick because I actually did pick defense. I picked cornerback for them. For Minnesota, I picked Mansour Delane.
The LSU corner that I took. Very interesting pick.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you guys accounted for it early, but with the game Moore played last night, I say he goes back to Oregon. That means Ty Simpson will probably be moved up.
Yep. There you go.
Simpson's my QB6 at the moment. He'll become QB5 if Moore goes back. We'll see. Maybe he'll be QB2 if none of these other QBs impress in the pre-draft process. Because I think Moore should go back, but if he declares I'm going to keep him at 34, and I'm going to be very unapologetic about it. But
okay.
Yeah.
I mean, this isn't quite the draft class for quarterbacks this year.
It's not.
It's just not.
There's 330 seconds. We'll take a look at the best players on the board. I've showed Joey the QBs earlier this morning. Basically, RB2 is a race between Jonah Coleman and Emmett Johnson. I've only got up to the top 50 picks at this point. Wide receiver 4 is a competition between Denzel Boston, Elijah Surratt. Both guys, big body targets. I think there's a chance both guys could sneak into the back end of round 1. Surratt definitely has a strong case after the Indiana game last night. Boston's a guy I've heard a lot of great things about as well from Nick Coletti.
And let's not forget, Surratt, it's not only about the Surratt is big. Surratt is a hands catcher, and he proved that last night. First catch he caught, I loved it. He was draped all over by the corner. He just put his hands out in front of himself, grabbed the ball, and I don't even think he brought it into his head. He just calmly stepped down, then stepped out of bounds. Another one, pass interference, got pushed, caught it with one hand, brought it into his body, got the pass interference, and caught the ball, got both feet in bounds. So Surratt last night made himself some money. He's going to be going, if he ends up dominating the national championship game, Surratt's going to be middle first round if he does that in the national championship game.
I see. I can covet players, even though I know that the Steelers won't be able to pick them.
And this is the thing: if you're the Browns,
that's who I like for the Steelers, by the way.
Yeah, if you're the Steelers or if you're the Browns, because Roman Wilson entered the year as wide receiver 2. He's now wide receiver 7 on the Steelers depth chart, according to Our Lads. He got jumped by both Marquez Valdes-Scantling and Adam Thielen, who are both not going to be with the Steelers next year. So that's the case for the Steelers drafting a wide receiver over a QB if you don't like the class. And if you're the Browns and you want a wide receiver 1 and you don't take one of the 3 guys at 6, you're going to have to reach for Surratt or Boston at 24 because the Raiders need a wide receiver. The Giants, I think the Giants have 37. If they pass on a receiver for Caleb Downs, they are almost certainly going to get a receiver in round 2. I gave the Raiders, Giants, Surratt, and Boston, but they could both end up going a lot earlier due to the demand for the position.
Awesome.
Sadiq and Stowers are still on the board. Carter Smith, Brian Parker, Tiernan. There's a lot of good tackles.
Also, don't discount the Alabama wide receiver. number 5. For some reason, his name is escaping me.
Yeah, I
But
know.
that guy is a truck. Okay, that guy is a truck. He, I remember it was a South Carolina game where the corner he was caught the ball was going up the sideline. The corner just threw up his hands and let him walk into the end zone. It's like
Yep.
didn't want to get hit by him. I mean that's like okay. We were watching tape on it the other day and we just started, singing
I think
Stevie Nicks
I think it's
because
Jeremy
it was
Pratt
just a
or-
landfall.
I think it's
Right,
Jeremy
okay.
Pratt or something, but I don't remember the name. It's not Ryan Williams. It's the older receiver that's a senior, but I don't remember his name either. But you got Green and Ione for Missouri and Penn State. Logan Jones and Jake Slaughter are the only 2 centers to crack my top 50, and it's a drop off from those. There's a big drop off after those 2. You got Moore, you got Mateo Ugalele, and Mikhail Kamara all in the top 50 still available. Christian Miller, just showing people the best players available. So none of the 3 first-round middle linebackers got picked. Jermon McCoy's available. Avion Terrell's available. D'Angelo Pons is available. And Chris Johnson, San Diego State corner, all still on the board. And all the safeties that we had are gone, all the kickers and punters. So I'm not going to, Dave Tepper has under 80 seconds. I'm not going to give Dave Tepper or Auto Draft the satisfaction of picking. And since we've got a playoff show on the other stream that I got to send Joey and William, we are going to sign off. But we hope you guys enjoyed our 1 hour draft show. It was a lot of fun to break these prospects down.
Yeah, man. Thank you very much for having me. Really appreciate it, Chris. Anytime you guys want to sit down and talk NFL, man, all you have to do is ring me up. I'll be more than happy to sit down and talk NFL with you guys, man. Anytime. Thank you very much for having me.
I appreciate it.
It was a pleasure.